Thank God it's the best of 7. It's not the NCAA tournament. You know, it's the first of 4. We'll be okay. Trust me.
A few moments later.
Denver makes history. The Nuggets are going to the NBA Finals.
Well, a really good question. And speaking of the Lakers, I just want you guys to know this is breaking news. I'm thinking about retiring, so don't tell anybody.
But it was just a lot of like the talking and all the Lakers. It was just so much of that going on. Like, all right, we get it, y'all won. But, I think, me and Brian had some conversations like, we can't wait.
One of the biggest storylines from this year's offseason was the Lakers-Nuggets beef that spawned last year's Western Conference Finals. As a lot of the Nuggets players after the series thought the media was giving LA way too much credit for losing the series, and Lakers players in response thought Denver was being a little too petty and dragging things way too far. And for the most part, this beef was kind of dormant heading into the season until Anthony Davis opened his mouth at Media Day saying him and LeBron James can't wait to play Denver. Pretty bold statement for a guy who was swept in the West Finals. And look, I'll give AD some credit, as in the first half versus Denver of this game, Hexie showed up and looked like a superstar, having 17 points, going toe-to-toe with the reigning Finals MVP. But in typical Anthony Davis fashion, in the second half, he became soft, disappeared, and had a whopping 0 points on 0 of 6 shooting. And to compound Anthony Davis playing awful, Jokic in return was simply brilliant, having 29 points, 13 boards, 11 assists on 55% shooting. And when AD had a donut in the second half, the Joker had 10 points on 50% shooting, along with 8 assists. And of course, Denver won this game in runaway fashion. And look, I don't want to toot my horn too much, but I told you guys weeks ago, Anthony Davis is one of those guys who is all bark, no bite. And whatever predictions he has at Media Day, his bold claims, rarely ever come true during the actual season when he laces them up on the hardwood. And this game versus Denver in a weird way kind of defined Anthony Davis as the player. As in one half, he'll be a top 5 player, defensive player of the year, and another half, not even a top 15 player, and really a ghost on both ends of the floor. And from a Nuggets player's perspective and a coach perspective, I think in this game versus LA, there was definitely some bad blood and it was personal between these two rosters. Of course, they'll be cordial, they'll say it's all respect, but Denver and LA do not like each other. And I really want to call it a rivalry, but Denver the last 5 games has beat LA every single time. And looking at how Jokic dismantled LA last year, it was the same thing in Game 1. And honestly, who can stop this guy when he's focused, locked in, and ready to go? As anytime Denver had a drought with stagnant offense, what would they do? The same double high action, Jokic, Jamal, and mainly KCP. Anytime they did that, it resulted in a wide open jumper, a layup, or a wide open corner 3. Even Jokic just setting screens gets guys like KCP and Jamal Murray countless open shots. And that positive offensive impact, it really does rival someone like Steph Curry and LeBron James. As if the Joker's on the court, I can guarantee you Denver is getting a good shot every time down. And very similar to LeBron tonight, if the Joker isn't on the floor Denver, their offense stagnates and resorts to a lot of ISO plays. And look, like I said earlier, the Lakers not being able to stop Jokic really isn't a Lakers problem. As across all the other 28 teams, there isn't really one single team as a personnel to combat this guy. And from a duo perspective, looking at Jokic and Jamal, a lot of the best duo in the league talk was between them, Anthony Davis, LeBron, and of course Giannis and Dame. And look, just my eyes watching the game, seeing Jamal and Jokic's chemistry, I don't think any other duo across the NBA has the chemistry of these two guys and really the high pick and roll ability to get good shots every time down. Yes, there are more talented two-man tandems, but in terms of chemistry, perfect fit, I haven't seen this level of play really since KD and Steph Curry, as both Jamal and Jokic complement each other's games perfectly. And a big thing for me personally is quality shots and quality shot creation. And when you have that two-man pick and roll, virtually every time they run it, they get a good shot and a wide open look. So until further notice, Jokic and Jamal Murray are the best duo in the NBA. And to go full circle with this video, looking back at Mike Malone, his big problem with LA last year wasn't really with the Lakers per se. His main problem was with the NBA media, as again, they covered the Lakers, but they actually won that series versus Denver. And surprising to me and many, TNT to advertise this game didn't even have Jokic on the graphic for opening night. How do you have Tatum, who isn't even playing on this graphic, but somehow forget the reigning Finals MVP? Look, it's only one graphic, one mistake, but it kind of speaks to the NBA's ability to not market their star players and someone like Jokic, who is the best player in the world. And I'm glad someone like Charles Barkley actually apologized for this and called the NBA for its terrible marketing. And speaking about that marketing ability, Jokic is the perfect guy to market team basketball. As unlike people like Luka Doncic, James Harden, a lot of the great ISO players, who look are fantastic, Jokic's game, it is really unique. He's a team first player, unselfish, and quite honestly, makes everyone better. He's not going to take 25 shots, have tween hezzy cross fade away. He's not going to do that. But the way he dominates his unselfishness, it really is a thing of beauty that should be marketed every single day of the week. And looking at Denver's overall team, look, it's game one versus the Lakers, but I was really impressed. The only thing I'm kind of concerned about is that bench depth, which is kind of suspect. But besides that, I love this so-called rivalry, Lakers versus Nuggets, superstar versus superstar. I absolutely love it. And I know Jokic won't talk any smack about the Lakers, but I think his play tonight dominating on both ends kind of said everything. As always, thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.